Welcome, boys and girls from YouTube. My name is Sloth. This is the SlothForge. And today we have a real quick look at the Pillar of Trial once again, but today the Pillar of Wildfire. Now, some of you maybe recognize that I skipped yesterday's video. I did not skip the video at all, but instead of showcasing my team for the Pillar of Resplendence, I made another video that I thought was a bit more interesting for you guys out there. It was a summoning video, and it also just felt right for me to not show the Pillar of Resplendence, because we have access to Gyarados in this pillar, so the first 6 to 8 stages are just a cakewalk, to be honest. Just pair your Gyarados with 3 or maybe even 4 DPS units, and it is absolutely easy to reach stage 8. Now, on the other hand, I think that the video for the next couple of days for the Pillar of Resplendence will be very interesting, because this boss is not the easiest one and is actually able to not only deal very good amounts of damage, but also can he heal his adds. And so actually this is not the easiest stage for the higher levels. So stay tuned, because I will definitely make a video for stage 11 and 12 for a free-to-play friendly team for stage 11 and 12 for the Pillar of Resplendent. But today you are here for the Pillar of Wildfire, so let's talk about the Pillar of Wildfire real quick. Now, this is actually, it is not the easiest pillar once again, but at least for the first 8 stages you will probably have a relatively easy time if you build the team that I built, if you have access to all the champions, and probably you will have access to at least 4 out of 5 heroes, I think. Maybe, probably you will have all 5, and then it will be absolutely no problem. Now, what is this boss all about? It is all about poisons. Applying those poison debuffs, dealing poison damage, and, yes, inflicting a poison explosion. So this is actually pretty much all what this boss is about. He is about poisons. So in theory, if you have like extremely good gear, you just could build your team with high resistance and you will be absolutely fine. But building heroes with resistance while also providing the other important stats is not that easy, especially early on. So I created a team, and I think that this team is very, it's a very nice team in my personal opinion. Now, first of all, we have 2 DPS units. I'm using Tornelnan and Caraman. Just let me show you their gear real quick. Nothing in depth to talk about. Now, I'm using this Flame Tongue artifact, but it is absolutely not mandatory. I'm just using it because I'm having it. Just use whatever you have to help your Tornelnan and Caraman in this case to deal high DPS. Now, but as I said, they are absolutely not mandatory. You can use any Wildfire DPS units that you have. You can also use poison heroes and you will be absolutely fine as well. You have, for example, Twitch and Durango. Use them and you will have an even easier time. But now let's talk about the core of the team. First, I'm using Adolphus, and he is a 100% free-to-play unit. Just like Tornelnan, you can buy Tornelnan somewhere in the shop, I believe. Somewhere in the exchange shop, and you should definitely do so. Tornelnan is extremely strong, and like I said in another video as well, even some of the spender player base are using Tornelnan just because he is so nice for single target DPS. And actually, when it comes to those bosses, the single target DPS is more important than the AoE DPS in my personal opinion, because those waves, they are not that hard. Now, if you, in this case, I'm using only single target DPS heroes, because Caraman also is single target DPS, and I'm still clearing those waves relatively fast, and obviously those stages are not about the waves, but about the boss. So single target DPS is recommended in my personal opinion. So, but now let's talk about the core of the team again. First is Adolphus. He is 100% free to play, and you should definitely use him and build him a bit like this. High HP, good defense, maybe a bit more HP, a little bit less defense. So it depends on your personal gear, and lot of enlightenment. So the shields that he places are as big as possible. And the perfect talents, and for him it is actually recommended to do the talents, to talent him up to 5 and 6, are those, the Blind Sight and the Artisan's Persistence, just because it helps him, especially the Blind Sight, to dispel some debuffs. And as I said, this is all what this dungeon is about. The boss is applying those debuffs, and we want to remove those debuffs, because the Wildfire faction has nearly no access to any good debuff immunity heroes. We have to use dispel debuffs instead. And this is why Vicuc is here. Vicuc is just insane for this dungeon. He is like the MVP. Once again, you see that I have not talented him up at all. So if you want to make your run even smoother, you want to make your run even more reliable, you can talent him up. And you will probably not regret it, because he has usage in many different areas of the game as well. He's actually a very good hero. I like him a lot. Now, it's all about his ultimate. He can dispel up to 2 debuffs from each ally and heal them for a good amount, and the more debuffs are removed, the bigger the healing gets. And what is so great about this is that no matter how many poison stacks on your team are, if it are 2 poison stacks, 5 poison stacks, or even 20 poison stacks, they still count as 1 debuff. So every single time he reaches his ultimate, he just cleanses them all. So he's absolutely fine. He's just perfect for this dungeon. And this also, he's able to apply attack penalty, just like Furbat is. So you will be able to have this attack penalty debuff up for nearly the whole fight, which is very useful once again, because the boss is also just dealing damage on its own, just by his skills. It is not 100% all coming from his poison debuffs. But also, as you can see, those poison debuffs, the damage depends on the caster's attack. So also, even though sometimes you are definitely not able to cleanse every single debuff, every single poison debuff, sometimes they deal a little bit of damage, and then it is just very useful to have those attack penalty debuffs up, so they deal a little bit less damage. Yes, so I would say that Vicuc and Adolphus, they are the main core of this team. And then Furbat, he's also just very useful. I'm using him with high accuracy. This accuracy is way too much. You don't need that much accuracy at all. Even for stage 12, I think that you will need like 300 accuracy at most. So this is the overkill for sure. And apart from that, I'm using the Witch Remains because I want to clear those dungeons quick if somehow possible. But he is not the best user for the Witch Remains because he has this single hit ultimate. It would actually, a better artifact for him would be, for example, the Horn, but it is not needed at all. And this is the team. Now, if you have a better tank than Furbat, maybe for example Ogok, you can absolutely use Ogok as well. And same for your DPS units. You can even use someone else instead of Adolphus, but I think if you have access to Vicuc, you should definitely use him. Even for the highest stages, I would probably use Vicuc because, like I said, Wildfire has nearly no access to cleanse those debuffs. As you can see, let me show you this real quick, to debuff immunity. As you can see, only he can apply debuff immunity, and it's also single target, so it's absolutely not reliable at all. And cleansing debuffs is also not that common in the Wildfire faction, so he is one of your by far best options. Now, if you do not have Vicuc, then of course there are other options, but I think, or I hope, that most people of you have access to Vicuc. Now, before I make this video once again too long, just let me show you the run real quick, and then we can think about some other options for Vicuc. As I said, probably one of the best options is actually to use high resistance on 1 or 2 of your heroes. You can for sure just use a positive rune and a chest on 1 or maybe 2 of your heroes, so they don't get any poison stacks at all. And another very good option actually is the mythical helmet or weapon from the... I never can remember the name of the mythical set. Something with teardrop, I think. we'll have a look at it after the video real quick in combination with the Gatekeeper staff, because on your healer, for example, Adolphus, because, but on the other hand, Adolphus does not need it at all, so there are better options. Also, you could use Hexandra. She's a rare unit. She can also dispel some debuffs. And if you gave her the Gatekeeper staff, her overheal, and let me say to you, Hexandra is healing for very good amounts, especially considering that she is only a rare. Healing is very strong. And her overheal in combination with the Gatekeeper staff once again gets converted into shields. And if you have the Teardrop mythical set, which I will show you real quick right after the run, will help you to also cleanse some debuffs. Now, as you just saw, Adolphus is also cleansing some of those poison debuffs because of the talents that he is using. And he also has this mythical artifact that I'm referring to, but where I cannot remember the name. I don't know why, but there are some sets where I never can remember the name. I'm very sorry about this. But now let's have a look at the run real quick. As you can see, the team has absolutely no problems, and no matter how many debuffs are up, if it is 1, 5, 10, if they dispel a debuff, it counts as 1 debuff, and so the whole deck gets removed. And that's it. That was the run. It was super smooth, super easy, and it is like 2 minutes. And the main reason why it takes so long is not the boss, but because the waves take so long. And as you can see, all those heroes, except for Adolphus, are not talented up at all. So there is way more room for improvement. And I'm very confident that this team will clear stage 11 without any problems, and most likely stage 12 as well. So the Skycode Treaty, it's not a Teardrop, I'm sorry, what is the Teardrop? It's not this set that I was talking about, sorry guys, it is this set, the Skycode Treaty set. Whenever you grant a shield, also 1 debuff is dispelled from the target, and this is super, super useful in combination with the Gatekeeper's staff. So if you have no access to Vicuc, it is no problem. You can use, so let me show you the hero that I'm referring to real quick. You can use Hexandra as well. Oops. Dispel debuffs. Now, and as I said, she can also dispel some debuffs on her own. On her battle skill, but once again, it is single target, so it is not the most reliable way to dispel those debuffs. But you do not have to dispel every single poison debuff. But the more poisons you're going to dispel, the harder it gets for the boss to kill your team. But it is this. This skill heals for a very good amount. It's actually a very good amount. And I've been using her my first season of the game, like 2 years ago, a lot. Because she is just a very, very strong hero and underestimated by many players out there. And now, as I said, if you use your Hexandra in combination with the Gatekeeper stuff, and I forgot the name once again, the Skycode Treaty set, I have to write this down, I think. If you use her combination with this artifact and this set, then she can dispel those debuffs as well. And in combination with Adolphus, they should probably be fine as well to keep those defense, those poison down buffs down as long as good as possible. But if you have access to Vicuc, you should definitely use him, because I think that even the highest teams, even the stage 11 and 12 teams, most of them will use Vicuc as well. But that's it. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in. And if you have any further questions, if you have any ideas for some better heroes for this team, some free-to-play accessible heroes, let me know in the comments below. As always, I'm very interested in your opinion. But for today, that's it. See you tomorrow.